Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Easy Weeknight Cooking with Heart's Desire Spice Blends. And tonight we've got a wonderful, wonderful new banana bread recipe for you. Now, we were going to be going live from Bayberry Inn tonight, but there have been some things that just happen. Life is like that. So we're going to be getting together with Bayberry Inn some other time, probably next month, and we'll bring you some really wonderful recipes. So meanwhile, what we're going to be doing tonight is the better banana bread, and we're going to need several things. Okay, first of all, about 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 eggs, about a 1/2 cup of sugar. Now, this recipe will range between a 1/2 and 3/4 cup of sugar. Depends on, really how sweet you like things. But we like being able to cut this back. And why can we cut back the sugar? The chai spice. We are going to need 1/3 cup butter, about 2 tablespoons of milk, 1 teaspoon of our blend of the month chai spice, gorgeous stuff, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So, given that, let's get cooking. So, we're going to need also a bowl, a grease loaf pan, and some sort of a wire rack. Of course, something to stir with. So we're going to start off with our dry ingredients. And there's going to be a really cool thing I'm going to tell you about your dry ingredients. Sometimes when you put together soda breads and stuff like that, you get pockets of air bubble or pockets of salt or pockets of this or pockets of that in your soda bread. And we're going to teach you how to not get pockets of stuff. Instead, have a really wonderful flavor all the way through your bread. And how do you do that? Whisk your ingredients together. So we're going to start off with our flour. Go ahead and put all of that in there. Go ahead and put in all of our dry ingredients right into the bowl. And this is what it's going to look like after you get them all in there. Now we're going to go ahead and take our whisk and just make sure that they're all just really well incorporated with each other. You're gonna see pockets of, say, chai spice or other things come to the top, and we just wanna make sure that you don't get bits of this and bits of that, or clumps of flour stuck together, or clumps of sugar stuck together, or anything like that. You want it all to end up being the same uniform color all the way around. There you go. Now we can go ahead and put our whisk aside because its job is done. And we're going to move on to bananas. When you're looking for bananas, you're going to be looking for the very ripe bananas because these concentrate a lot more sugars. They concentrate a lot more of that just really banana flavor. And my favorites are honestly the light bananas with a little bit of green on top. They're a little bit tart and they're wonderful. Honestly, for eating, this is not my favorite, but for banana bread, it's really necessary. So go ahead and put your eating bananas on the windowsill for, a couple of days until they start getting all these brown spots on them. When they turn black, well, it depends on how long they've been black. So we're going to need 1 cup of bananas. That's usually about 2 medium bananas. So there we go. We've got our 1 cup of bananas. From here on out, sometimes your butter is going to be a little bit hard. You want 1/3 of a cup of butter, and you'll notice most sticks of butter have this wonderful measure right along here. That's going to be about 6 tablespoons of butter. I just go ahead and get a serrated table knife, peel it real quick. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut it apart. One of my favorite things to do here is actually put some of this in the microwave to get it really soft. That way it's really easy to blend up. So this is going to go in the microwave for generally up to 10 seconds just to get it really good and soft. I'm just going to say quick 30 seconds and keep an eye on this thing because you don't want it to go very long at all. There's 5 seconds, 7 seconds. Let's check this out. You see it's starting to melt on the bottom. It's well softened on top. There's a lot of gleam of it, just really soft butter there. So now we can go ahead and just put it right on in. Next, you're going to put in the rest of your ingredients. There's our bananas. Yummy. And there's also another trick. You're going to want to actually crack your eggs into something before you put them into your batter, because you never know if it's going to be a bad egg, if you get a whole bunch of shell in there. You want to be able to fish it out before it goes to your batter. And there's one, and there's two. At this point, we're starting to get things incorporated. Peel off the stuff off the bottom. Just make sure everything is well blended. If you want it to have more structure to it, you're going to blend it more than if you do not want it to have much structure to it. You know, if you're using hand mixer, if you want it to have a lot of structure, up to about 2 minutes, I would not do any more than that because of the development of the gluten. If you want it to be really, really light and crumbly and fluffy and delicate, then you're going to put everything together and just make sure everything is relatively cohesive, and then leave it be. Don't do any more to it. And that will get you a really delicate baked goods, because the gluten is what really keeps everything together and gives you that almost rubbery structure, if you will. If you overdevelop your gluten, you're going to have a rubbery structure. If you underdevelop your gluten, you're going to have a structure that just falls apart. It's beautiful. So, what else do we need? You will have turned on your oven to 350 to preheat it by this time. And you will have one of your bread pans already greased. So all you need to do is say, move over, bowl. I'm over here. And spoon your batter directly into your bread pan. There we go. Love that stuff. You can see little bits of banana that haven't quite broken up. Beautiful. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of butter that hasn't broken up. If you want this to be a little bit more on the delicate side, I've got a banana bread over here that was mixed a little bit more than this. So you're going to see what it looks like when it's not as delicate. Go ahead and spread that out. Those chai spices, it's really great. You're going to love this. When you're actually trying to get away from the sugar, you're going to be using things like our chai spice to increase the sweetness of your dish naturally. We find that, especially with fruit, chai spice just brings out the native sweetness of fruit so well. And you can actually reduce the amount of sugar that you use. This, my friends, is ready. I'm going to shake it back and forth to get it nice and even. This is ready for the oven. So, and then I rinse my hands, and I'll show you what we have already baked up. Look at that. Yummy. Gorgeous top. You know this is done when a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean, and you've got a good amount of golden brown on here. This crust is amazing. I've tried some already. So you're going to be turning out your finished product onto a wire rack like this one for about 10 minutes before you cut it, or else it's just, the texture's not going to be the same. It just does not. You've got to let it cool a little bit for the texture to actually come to full fruition, if you will. And go ahead and give it a slice. Oh, yes, I love that. Would you look at that? Oh, you can see some of the swirl of the spices going there. Yeah. So I can feel some of the crustiness out here. The sugar caramelizes really well for that just a little bit of crunch. It's got to have a little bit of crunch on the edges. It really does. It's like cake donuts. That's coming up in a live near you. Next week. So let's give this a taste. It looks fantastic. Oh, and add nuts at the very, very last, just before it's ready to go into the loaf pan, if you want them. Me, not so much. I'm a purist. Mm. Mm. Oh yeah. So you can see, yummy, some of the structure here. You can see this one is not falling apart by holding it over here or over here even. But this, yum, is gorgeous. So I think I'd better eat some dinner before I have the rest of the loaf. What do you say? So from our kitchen to yours, go ahead, and if you haven't gotten the chai spice yet, there's no reason not to. It's already 15% off until the end of the month. Next week, you will see us doing oven-baked cake donuts. My favorite. I'm relatively addicted to cake donuts. And the week after that, we are going to be doing honey glazed chai chicken. Go ahead and see us at Or and More on the 26th. We'll be doing it after the 26th. So from our kitchen to yours, that is better banana bread. And you guys keep things tasty. We will see you next week.